Has it been 20 years already? That's how long it's been since Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith hit the theaters. And there's nothing like those turn-of-a-decade anniversaries, so appropriately, a re-release for the end of the prequel trilogy was done in order to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Anakin turning to the dark side. Now this was a packed auditorium. Definitely the most packed re-release I've ever seen. This screening was at 8 p.m. on Thursday night. In case you didn't know, I never saw Revenge of the Sith on the big screen when it came out in 2005. I was 10 years old, so it's not like I couldn't have seen it, but at that time I had never seen any Star Wars movie, and therefore I didn't even know that this film was a prequel. I only had a basic understanding of some of the series' iconic characters like R2-D2, C-3PO, and of course Darth Vader. Although, had I seen the film at the time it came out, some of the stuff in the second half of this film probably would have been a little too traumatizing for my poor little 10-year-old brain. It should be noted that I went to the re-release of The Phantom Menace for its 25th anniversary last year, and I came out of it thinking, that's pretty much always been in line on how I felt about that movie, and seeing it in theaters didn't help. But without spoiling this review, I knew watching Revenge of the Sith on the big screen would be a much better experience. In order to properly prepare, I rewatched the original trilogy a week ago, and then the corresponding prequel installments, Episode 1 and Episode 2, this week. I've seen all these movies before, but it was about time for a rewatch as I hadn't watched any of the films in the Skywalker saga in a few years. So Revenge of the Sith's 20th anniversary provided me a nice opportunity. In Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, Anakin Skywalker turns to the dark side in order to save Padme from death. If you're experiencing this film for the first time, this film is best watched in the context of being a prequel. Meaning if you're new to the Star Wars saga, the OG trilogy needs to be your foundation, and then check out the prequel trilogy. In the context of a prequel, the lore of the Star Wars saga just elevates the stakes and emotion you feel during the second half of this film. It's an incredible feeling when watched in the proper context. Anytime you hear someone tell a newcomer to Star Wars to watch the films in chronological order, tell them to f*** off and watch the films in release order instead. Now, I have mixed feelings on the two prequel installments which came beforehand. As I said in my re-release review last year, I think Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, is a fairly sloppy movie. Not without some decent stuff, but overall, misguided. Even though Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, got a worse score on Rotten Tomatoes, I think it's a much better movie. Not without some pacing issues, but in basically all quality aspects, I thought it was a major step up. Episode 3 continues the upward trajectory from Part 2, and all the basic things you want from a movie. Storytelling, pacing, character development, while not forgetting to be fun. That opening spaceship battle scene on the big screen just looked incredible, and the whole rescue of Chancellor Palpatine was great. Way more fun than anything in the prior two films. That pod racing scene. At times, the movie is a bit too reliant on CG than I would have liked, but that was obviously a problem with the entire prequel trilogy. The worst character by far was General Grievous. Just a sloppily, poorly rendered CG character who you have to suffer through in the first half of this film. It's not just him, though. I don't understand why even basic shots of the clone troopers couldn't have been filmed with live-action actors and instead relied on Cartoon Network-level rendering. The key thing Episode 3 was going to have to accomplish was making Anakin's turn to the dark side convincing. He hadn't quite made that full transition through Episode 2. The choice for making Anakin's turmoil his desire to save Padme was and is a beautiful one. I know it's received criticism, but I thought it was a lovely relationship, and their interactions and dialogue were just too cute. Natalie Portman as Padme was just adorable.
Anakin, you're breaking my heart.
But because I like the stuff with him and Padme, that works in setting up him needing Palpatine and the dark side to save her. Love and relationships is what motivates us in many various aspects of life, so it works for the story here. From there, I just love the feeling of darkness that takes over the second half of this movie. In its prequel context, Seeing the rise of Palpatine and the Empire through Order 66 was incredible. That Order 66 sequence is just so damn good. That whole sequence, though, gave me the biggest what the f*** reaction I had watching this film. When Anakin has his infamous moment where he kills the younglings, this got applauses from the audience.
What are we going to do?
It's a very uncomfortable sequence. I'm not sure how people should have reacted to it, but I sure as hell wasn't expecting cheers, that's for sure. All the rising character tension and drama is truly great through the second half of this movie. I just wish some of the performances were noticeably better. I like Hayden Christensen in the role. He's got a great look to him, and he's mostly fine through the movie. But in the notable scenes where Anakin is going dark mode or getting angrier, just the line delivery is off and it becomes very meme-worthy. Not in the way they initially intended, I'm sure. I gotta blame George Lucas for that. They should have looked at these initial takes and said, "Cut! Hey Hayden, why don't we try that line again?" He's not the only one though. Ian McDiarmid is rightfully a treasure in the role as Palpatine, but the line delivery at times for him is just so laughable, and getting laughs from the audience, not in a good way though. I just don't think that's what you're going for when you're delivering lines, but it did give me some unexpected laughs while watching this movie. The person who slays the most though is Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Hello there.
This guy is just peak in this role. The voice, the look, his action are terrific. There's a reason why people wanted him back as Obi-Wan for so many years. Ideally, it should have been in a movie, but let's not get into that now. But the emotion and resonance once you get to this movie's climax is just incredible. Star Wars has amazing lore when it comes to the legacy of those original films, and when you see things are building up towards that, it just gets so damn epic to see. Anakin versus Obi-Wan is rightfully regarded as one of the best battles of all time. It's got plenty of meme-worthy lines, but the choreography, spectacle, and the score in Duel of the Fates are just chef's kiss. Not to mention seeing Yoda versus Palpatine happening at the same time. There's beautiful poetry in how it sets up Darth Vader, the birth of Luke and Leia, and the start of the original trilogy. By nature of what the film is setting up, it's a tragic ending, but a beautiful one. You feel the emotion and power behind the lore in the movie's proper prequel context. So I gotta say that this movie is a yeah. Going in, I was expecting to go more with I liked it a lot. But this was a great re-release experience that elevated this movie from being my 5th favorite Star Wars film to being maybe top 2, definitely top 3. I need to watch Rogue One again. I'll save that actual ranking though for one of my classic ranking vids. The movie got a great reaction from the audience I saw it with. And I had so much fun that I even checked it out again the night after. Definitely the best re-release experience I've had. The audience was just super into the film in all the best ways. But for as great an experience as this was, I can only imagine what it was like watching this movie on the big screen when it was coming out. Seeing the end of the prequel saga and knowing that there wasn't another Star Wars film on the horizon, I'm guessing pre-Avengers, it was the movie event of the previous decade. Probably only surpassed by The Phantom Menace with all the hype behind that's initial release. So that'll do it for this review of Revenge of the Sith 20th Anniversary re-release. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you for watching.